right, Nick, let's talk to New York Jets. Very surprising if you would have looked at them preseason to know now that they're 5-2 and a pretty big contender in the AFC East. Probably one of the best chances of winning the AFC East this season. I really like how this team has, kind of sorted itself out. It's quite the unit. But they've gotten even stronger, and we're going to get into the story of a key trade they made and another key move they've made to bolster the roster. So, Nick, this is a team very impressive, but it's not up only to us to tell you how impressive they are. We want to know from you, the fans. Let us know who has been the most impressive player to you so far this season. Who surprised you the most this season so far? Let us know in the comments below. But Nick, what do you got on the New York Jets?
Yeah, so the Jets have a lot of impressive players so far this season. Great start for the Jets. But I think what's been most impressive to me is how well run this front office has been under Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh from the coaching perspective, the moves they made around the trade deadline this week. And I'm going to both of them here. The first big one that I'm sure a lot of people have heard of is the Jets trading for a new running back. Obviously, Brees Hall with the injury. They traded with the Jacksonville Jaguars for running back James Robinson. According to the New York Post, it's for a conditional draft pick. Will be a 2023 6-round pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars. But if Robinson rushes for more than 600 yards, it will become a 5th-round draft pick. And Robinson already at 340 with Brees Hall hurt. He's going to get a lot of carries. He's very likely to get over 600 yards. So it'll most likely end up being a 2023 5th-round draft pick for Robinson, who is going to be a restricted free agent next year, which means the Jets basically have his rights for the rest of this year and most likely next year. So a good move there. Obviously, Brees Hall, dynamic rookie. Injuries, that stinks. It sucks. Wish him a quick recovery. He's going to be a great player, no doubt about it. But I think Robinson showed a lot of talent for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are, despite having some good things this offseason, aren't well run, as an organization. So it's obviously you always see this, right? You see good teams, well-managed teams take advantage of poorly managed teams. I think this is a good example of it here because I think Robinson's a really nice player. I think he's better than anybody you'll probably get in the 5th round at the running back position.
Easy.
Obviously you're getting him cheap, right? It's a rookie deal, so no brainer there. But I think their second move, right, which I think really speaks to this intelligence this organization has, is one they kind of didn't make. And that's not trading Elijah Moore. According to New York Post, Elijah Moore was back at practice. He embraced offensive coordinator LaFleur and coaches, his teammates, players were glad to see him back. The vibes seem to be better. There's no indications right now that he will be traded. And I think that's another smart move by the Jets organization because I think he's a really nice player. He has the dynamic ability with Zach Wilson coming back. His targets have gone down. That's why he was so frustrated. But I think the fact of the matter remains he's a young, talented, athletic player. There's going to be some ups and downs. And obviously you'd like him to be a little more selfless, not selfish, just want the football. But the fact of the matter is he's an important player in this offense. And the Jets did the smart thing by not just shipping him off, right? Not just getting rid of him. Hold on to your young guys, treat them right, take care of them, get them involved in the football team, build that culture. And we're starting to see with the Jets. That's why I love these two moves. They got a player they needed at running back, and they didn't fall to temptation and just get a player that was upset, get him off the roster. Really smart decisions by the Jets. What do you think of these two moves and just the vibes and culture around the Jets in general?
Yeah, no, I like it. I especially like the James Robinson move. Obviously, it's a move of necessity with Brees Hall going down. But Nick, early on this season, starting from the first game, Robinson versus Washington, 11 carries, 66 yards, touchdown. Next game against Indy, 23 carries, 64 yards, touchdown. And then finally against the Los Angeles Chargers, 17 carries, 100 yards, touchdown. From that point on, the Jaguars went on a huge losing streak, and you kind of saw Robinson's usage dwindle ever since that. But he started out the year really, really strong. I'd say he got almost 90% of his yards in the first 3 games. So I think there's big time potential for a team who wants to use a running back as the Jets had used Brees Hall. He was an integral part of that offense. I think Robinson is a great pickup for him. You see that he has the talent. He has the ability to be a good player. It's just when the team started to kind of stink, Jacksonville, that is, his usage dropped off, and they couldn't utilize a guy like that anymore. I guess they abandoned the run game. They were just throwing it all over the field, trying to come back from these bad losses. So I really like James Robinson and Elijah Moore, Nick. Great player, very dynamic. I think, last year he was incredible. He had almost 600 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns as a rookie. Uh, great season by him. Drafted out of Ole Miss by the Jets. And, he's a really talented player. He had a bright future. And I guess that new rookie class, everyone seemed to come out, have a really good first season, and they like immediately won an extension. They kind of, he felt like he wasn't getting enough targets. He felt like he wasn't getting enough action. But Saleh, everybody in the front office said, listen, this guy's talented. We don't want to run him off. They smoothed things over. So Elijah Moore's back in action. He's back with the team practicing. He's going to play in the game. So 2 big moves for this offense, and I think it's going to help them roll even further the next few weeks.
Yeah, we used to see, right, teams and the Patriots for a long time were famous for this. They'd get a disgruntled player off a team that wasn't happy. They'd get him for peanuts because that team would just give him away, and that player would go on to be a big-time player, right? That's exactly what the Jets used to do in years gone by. They'd have a player, things weren't going right, and they just get rid of them. They'd unload them, and they just basically, like I talked about, they'd sell low. They just want to give them off the roster. They did the exact opposite here with Elijah Moore, which I think is really smart. That's a sign of a really well-managed football team, and I really love the fact that LaFleur, Saleh, the players immediately embraced Elijah Moore. There was no blow up. There were rumors that there was a blow up. All the reports actually come out and say there wasn't any. It's a good sign. This is a strong culture. This is a good, tight-knit group. I think James Robinson will fit in right in. I think they need a guy with a lot of carries who wants those carries. And like you alluded to early in the season, he was extremely productive when he was the number 1 guy. So again, the Jets are just doing everything smart right now. That's why they're 5-2. They're starting to do smart things both on the football field and off. And I think it starts with the GM. I give Joe Douglas a lot of credit for everything he's done running that football team.